Dragon Ball drip 24/7.
What's up, guys? Today I want to talk about Tenshinhan. Okay, unforgotten character in the Dragon Ball universe, in my opinion, highly underrated. One of my favorite characters in the whole series, going all the way back to Dragon Ball. And I started thinking about some things, and I started to wonder how things could have changed. I think Toriyama dropped the ball on this guy because he made him overpowered in Dragon Ball, which is the OG Dragon Ball anime, and he kind of wrote himself into a corner. Okay, his abilities, the third eye, being able to copy different techniques, things of that nature, which are awesome abilities, but he only used it one time. And if he could have continued to use that ability, I think he would be a much more formidable opponent. And there's a few things that I think could have changed and altered all of Dragon Ball in essence, if I'm being honest, guys. Let's start off with all the way back to the Cell Saga. Let's go back there. Let's go back to when everybody was going in and Tien had an opportunity to go there. He decided, he was asked, did he want to go? And Tien said one of the things that Tien as a character would never say, in my opinion, and that is, no, I wouldn't do any good. It wouldn't do much better if I went in there. I couldn't get strong enough to help you guys out, basically is what he said in so many words, right? So he basically refused to go into the Hyperbolic Time Chamber, which, if you know Tien as a character, you know that he's always practicing, he's always training. He's one of the only characters to never stop training in the whole series. And he thrives on training, right? He's a character that is going into battle knowing that 9 times out of 10, he's not going to be able to hang, but nevertheless, he always does. He always goes in and he does his best. And he's always trying to get better as a martial artist. He's a true definition of what a martial artist is. So when he said that, when I saw that, I kind of I lost my shit, if I'm being real, because that's something that Tien would not do. The Tien that I know would definitely go into the Hyperbolic Time Chamber, do his time, come out stronger. And of course, I'm not saying that he would be at a Saiyan's level, right? Or at least Super Saiyan's level, but I think that he could have used that time and really gave himself a nice little Zenkai boost, if that's what would have been written, right? Imagine if Tien was actually going and training and did that. Imagine if he went into the Hyperbolic Time Chamber and got that training, right, and came out. So many techniques, in my opinion, I think he would have mastered. He could have easily mastered the Kaioken and maybe come up with something of his own. He probably could have mastered his own Neo Tri-Beam so that it wouldn't actually kill him for using it. And let's say worst case scenario, he wasn't able to do that, and he could at least carry a bag full of sensu beans. And when he used that ability, and if he was pushed to have to use that ability, he could then, take a sensu bean. That would also be an awesome form of training. Take a bag of sensu beans into the Hyperbolic Time Chamber or wherever you are and train, and practice the Neo Tri-Beam and try to perfect it to a point where you don't cost yourself actual life or key energy that takes from your life force, right? I think that could be something that could have been easily written. And I just think that Toriyama just kind of wrote himself into a corner when he wrote this character, because all the people who don't know about Dragon Ball, which is the OG Dragon Ball, Tien had his own arc. He was the main villain, okay, in the 22nd Martial Arts Tournament, who actually won that tournament, okay, beat Goku, Kid Goku, to become the #1 champion in that. And after that, everything kind of went downhill. He never used certain abilities again. And the one that he did use, which was the 4-Witch technique, he used it against Master Roshi, which I feel was another drop ball by whoever wrote Dragon Ball Super, where Master Roshi got the better of Tien in that exchange. And if you go back to Dragon Ball, like I said, OG Dragon Ball, that is when Master Roshi finally understood that he was finally surpassed by his students, or the likes of them. And Tien was one of those characters. That's why he stepped out of the tournament and basically forfeited the match, because he knew he couldn't beat Tien, right? So Tien didn't do anything to get stronger. Master Roshi actually, got stronger as well. But if you compare the two, Tien is definitely, in my opinion, stronger than Master Roshi, and that is a debate that some people may argue with, but I don't see any argument in that. But anyway, if Tien were to get that training, develop new abilities, learn to master the ones he had, what could he have actually really done, in my humble opinion, guys? I think he could have done a lot. I think he could have been more on par with a character like Piccolo, which is another one of my favorites, and I think he could have got a lot of things done, right? He could have used that third eye. He could have mastered all kinds of techniques. He probably could have mastered everybody else's techniques, because Krillin, Goku, and the likes of those guys were using Solar Flare. They got that from Tien, and Tien also knew how to do Kamehameha. You only got to see him do it one time, maybe more. I can only remember one time him using that, but I could be wrong. It's been a while. But also, he could have learned the Destructo Disc. He could have learned other abilities from Goku and the likes of those guys. I just think he would have been. He had the potential to be really, really good, up there with like a Piccolo type character. And I think that if I had a chance to write what if stories, different scenarios, I would have definitely had Tien up there with those guys. Okay, that's just my humble opinion. What do you guys think? Are you a Tien fan? Are you not? Leave your comments down below. I would really like to pick you guys' brains on that, and I'll see you guys in the next video.